DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, it's Monday, and as usual on Mondays, I usually do a couple tags. Just finished doing Jasmine's 5 question tag, and now we're on to Dave Nicholson's last Saturday's 7 question tag. Hi there, Dave, and I will try and do my best to answer those 7 questions. Question 1. When it's all said and done, will you have said more than you've done? That's almost like a limerick, isn't it? Um, when it's all said and done, will you have said more than you've done? You know, probably. Um, Most of the times, we like to say things that we're going to do and do that and do this and do that. And finally, we do what's necessary to get the job done. Now, there's an expression in French, for those of you who want to practice your French. It's gros parleur, petit faiseur. Means a big talker and a little doer. Um, and that could be related to this. Now, it is clear that, like I say, when you know you've got to do something and you've been talking about you're going to do it, you're going to get it done. Um, Sometimes we talk a lot more than we do. But actually, I think that usually if you're doing things well, you will try and get it done correctly and not in exaggeration. Get it done correctly. Everything else is a bonus. Question 2. If you had the opportunity to get a message across to a large group of people, what would your message be? Repent, the end is near. Oh, goodness. Yeah, actually, that is a good message. Um, I think, actually, when it comes to say, uh, apply the golden rule, be a lot nicer. There's just so much hatred going on right now in the world that we do need definitely to be a lot nicer with one another. Yeah. Question 3. I could have said more, but I'll leave it there. Question 3. If the average human lifespan was 40 years, how would you live your life differently? Well, if the average human lifespan was 40 years, I'd be way over it, wouldn't I? Because I am going to be 68 this year. So yeah, so if the human lifespan. So how would you live your life differently? Well, up to my 40th year, I wouldn't have changed much actually. Um, maybe I'd have maybe we could have had the children younger. We would have had more time with them if it really was a question of 40 years. But you know something? When we say average, people don't count on average because you're always in your head. You're going to be above average or below. But usually, we tend to think that we're going to live longer or something like that. So, seriously, I don't know if I would have done much difference. Yeah. Question 4. What do we all have in common besides our genes that make us human? Well, most of us, I would say, would have in common that we do. And I mean, we're not talking about, there are exceptions and everything, but most of us do know, that there is right and wrong. What we do have in common that make us human is that we can actually stunt. I was going to say we can stunt our emotions and we can desensitize ourselves and to become, I was going to say, subhuman. Luckily, we can also do it the other way. I think we all have in common is an enormous possibility of learning and of, I was going to say, of searching for knowledge, of searching for for truth. And one of the things that makes us human, I think, is our grasp of, our grasp of the eternity. And some of you are going to say, well, no, I don't believe in anything beyond. Well, actually, in a way, you do and you don't. I mean, because you know very well that you will not live here forever. So you know that there is a sense of finite, and which means that you are not eternal. And for others, you know that there is a finite on earth, but you are eternal. Okay, think about that a little bit. And I did not do any real preaching in that one. Okay, was that question 4? It was question 4. Question 5. If you could choose one book as a mandatory read for all high school students, which book would you choose? So I'm going to stay in normal literature because we're talking about high school students. That is a difficult one. One of my favorite books is John Steinbeck's Travel with Charlie. And one of the things I like in that is actually the way that the person goes in searching for his country, but searching for himself. And he's using basically his dog Charlie, I was going to say, as a springboard to throw off his own emotions and to study mankind in a way through an animal. But I mean, you'd have to read the book and you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot in that book, actually. I do try and read it once a year. I haven't read it, actually. I don't think I read it last year. Goodness. But yeah, probably would be that. Travels with Charlie. I'm going to see if it's in Spanish. Okay, that was question 5. Question 6. Would you rather have less work or more work, or more work you enjoy doing? I'm actually going to go along with what Jasmine said. Jasmine mentioned, a lot about the importance of family and off time. Now, have you ever worked with a workaholic? A workaholic loves his job and will kill himself doing more work because he just enjoys his job. Some workaholics do that because they hate their family or hate anything else. But if you've worked with real workaholics, they are addicted to their work and they actually like it. I mean, the ones that I've known. And they will work themselves into the ground. So actually, in that respect, having seen that and having seen what it does to families and to human relationships, I'm going to actually go, where was the question? I would actually go for less work or a more balanced work-life balance. So I'm not really answering that question in a way. I wouldn't go for less work, but not more work, just the right amount, because more work will kill you, even if you enjoy it. Less work might not be the thing, you might end up being bored or something like that, but definitely not absolutely more work. That's question 6. Now, question 7 and last. What is important enough to go to war over? Well, there is the concept of what you call just war. I think actually most of us would say we don't want war, we want peace. But if you are being attacked, or if you know that you are going to be oppressed and attacked, there is what you would call a preemptive or just war. But I think that, what is important enough to go to war for? Truth. And strangely enough, this sounds so contradictory. Peace is enough to go to war for. And if you look at what's happened in the Second World War and in different situations, which won't go into it really, but I mean there have been times where there've been justified. I was going to say where aggression was never justified, but where defensive maneuvers and preemptive defense has been important enough to go to war for. Yeah, difficult question as well, and I am way over time now. So yeah, okay, that'll be it. Thank you, Dave. Another good set of questions. DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.